Hello everyone and welcome back to Pass the Aux Chord, and welcome to the second year-end list for 2025. This time around we're going to be doing the top 10 worst songs or singles. We're talking individual tracks for each one, but there is a catch. For this year's list, to avoid redundancy, I decided that across any of the lists, a singular artist can only get one mention. So if something obvious seems missing, there's a good chance the whole album it's part of will be on the other list. This was because every year I feel like I kind of repeat myself a lot across the two different lists, so hopefully I won't be doing that as much here and we can kind of just get individual takes for each one, I guess. That all said, let's get right into it with number 10.
One look at my past self, double take on my cash flow, apologizing for shit that frankly I stopped thinking of years ago.
As many of you may know, Sleep Token tends to be one of the most polarizing bands out right now, with heated debate on each side on whether they're sellout bullshit fakers or the thing that's saving metal music. Call me what you will, but I've leaned towards a charitable outlook on this band up until this point, despite what this placement implies. I think I've always been on the side of just it's really not that deep, similar to the debate on Ghost BC years back. Sleep Token is hardly even really a metal band at all, let alone one that's ruining or saving the genre, just like Ghost was hardly a metal band at all. That said, none of that saves the fact that this song absolutely blows. Whenever rapping and trap beats get added to the mix, I really start to see what the biggest haters see in Sleep Token: their theatrical style, rock and metal influence, and over-the-top dramatic vocals are so cringe in that context. There is no universe in which this guy needs to be talking about his cash flow. Like, are we so for real? The instrumental is really generic on this one too, a bit annoying if anything. This was all really long-winded, but essentially moments like this make me doubt this band, even if I think they have potential. Moving on.
Children ask us how did we meet, I'm telling them Gen Z love, FYP love, IG love, saw her on the explore page.
UK hip-hop has had an odd year because while the underground is seemingly thriving more than ever, some of the well-established artists are flopping a bit for sure. Well, among them is Central C, who dropped what was overall just a really mediocre record this year, but there's one highlight I really had to roll my eyes at in particular. His rapping and production on this track, Gen Z Love, aren't particularly terrible, really just a bit underwhelming if anything, and that's why it places low on this list at least. But the lyrics are really what gets me, because the whole concept of this song is just very cringe overall. Him insisting upon this repetition of Gen Z and social media slang feels very fellow kids type of energy, and that's just strange if anything, considering Central C is only 27. I think it's very cringe, very tacky, and out of touch in a way that was certainly supposed to be relatable. Moving on to number 8.
Moonbeam ice cream, taking off your blue jeans, dancing at the movies.
In my least controversial move yet, it's Benson Boone, and not only Benson Boone, his memed on and near universally disliked single, Mystical Magical. This became a bit of a TikTok thing for a while to poke fun at, and it's easy to see why. The moonbeam ice cream chorus thing is just so aggressively dumb and sounds terrible. The Freddie Mercury from Wish.com type comparisons with Benson Boone are generally pretty valid and accurate. He's reviving something poorly that doesn't need reviving in the first place. Listening to the rest of his music, it's mostly just unremarkable, but you really gotta wonder what went wrong with this one track in particular when hearing just how strange and odd some of his vocals are on it. Like, a lot of people had to sign off on this, I think. Strange, but let's move on to another pop song with number 7. Actually Romantic is a generic pop song by a billionaire acting as a diss track or a clapback of some kind at an artist much smaller than her who wasn't really even taking shots at her in the first place. I don't care what side of the Swiftie debate or fandom you're on, that's what this song is, and that is genuinely pathetic. If you're unaware from the title and certain bits of context, this track has been seen widely as a response to Charli XCX's song that indirectly mentions mention Taylor, but really was more of a vulnerable, somber, taking a look in the mirror type of moment. Rather than act with any sort of maturity, maybe figuring things out behind the scenes, working it out on the remix even perhaps, Taylor went and did this shit show of a song that doesn't even sound good. Outside of this particular track, I don't think her latest album, Life of a Showgirl, is anything special, good or bad for the most part. It has its competent, poppy moments, it has its lows and highs, but this is certainly a big low among it. Career-wise for Taylor as a whole, I think this might be a new low, and I can't really see it as anything besides missing the point and hitting someone while they're down. Punching down at the very least, I mean, come on. She doesn't seem to realize just how much influence she has when doing something like this, and if she does, that just makes it worse yet. The angle of this song doing this mean girl, oh, you're just in love with me, that's why you say mean things about me attitude is super immature. I mean, like, what are you, in your 30s, 40s? What are we doing, man? And the song sounds corny as hell beyond that. Pathetic stuff here, and that's all there is to it. But also, the only good and redeemable parts of this song are just a total rip of Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. Like, that's a great, iconic song, but like, it kind of makes this one sound okay in certain pockets when it's like really leaning into that, we'll say, influence. Let's move on to number 6.
Wiggly wobbly, wibbly wobbly, wiggly wobbly, wibbly wobbly.
Did y'all know that's an interpolation? I thought that's kind of funny. I think this song is pretty funny in general, if I'm being honest. It's wild to think that something like this even came out from Travis Scott under his Jack Boys collective this year because of just how much of a forgettable mess the album was. In fact, this goofy ass moment is really the only thing I can recall from it, and I think that's the result of a creation process that was terribly rushed and thrown together. Like I said before, I think Travis rushed this out to try to stomp on the release of Clips's latest albums due to their half-ass beef between Pusha T, and it shows. This latest project from Jack Boys sounds rushed, messy, and shitty, and at times you end up with a moment like this where at least there's something a little bit funny, but certainly not very listenable. Yeah, obviously Travis sounds really goofy. The production's mostly just not anything special, and even the guest verse from Glorilla has a particularly strange bar in the mix there that kind of ruins it. I don't really know what to make of this one, man, but it's really something, I gotta say. Let's just move on to number 5.
She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a problem.
Do covers count? Can we count covers? I mean, I've never really done it, but like this one really needs a spotlight, I think. JoJo Siwa's music career has been somewhat of a laughingstock for the duration it's been put in the limelight, starting just last year with songs like the now infamous Karma. This year it's been a bit of a different vibe entirely though, as she randomly dipped into a bit of a trad wife side quest detour, and for some reason covered the Kim Carnes new wave classic, Betty Davis Eyes. Now for most artists, at least ones that are competent vocalists, this would be a bit of an odd move, but inevitably an inoffensive and fine one. JoJo Siwa, however, has not been very well documented up to this point as having very good vocals, and this style of song doesn't complement her raspy tone in any way whatsoever, and it's to the point that there's an aggressive amount of auto-tune, almost to the level of self-parody. It's truly an odd spectacle. It's a car crash you can't look away from type of moment, and maybe this is the most pointless and strange cover I've ever heard beyond that, but props to where it's due for just giving it a shot, I guess. Time for number 4.
I want to meet your madre, pay my respects to your padre, mi amor.
Assuming you weren't living under a boulder last year, you'll know that Drake lost a rap beef in 2024 in the most spectacular fashion and widest spectacle of all time, in any rap beef really ever conceived. Within it, of course, one of the biggest criticisms against him and his character is his tendency to throw on fake accents, make songs in genres he knows nothing about, and generally act as a culture vulture. In what's possibly the worst example of taking criticism criticism to heart I've ever seen. This year, on this mid-ass Party Next Door collab album, he did what's one of his most blatant moments of cultural appropriation yet, I think. This song being a trap and R&B rendition of traditional Spanish music is one thing. It could have maybe been done tastefully, but Drake putting on his best fake Mexican accent and speaking what I've heard to be somewhat broken Spanish is another thing entirely. Serious discussion aside on whether or not the song is offensive, have whatever take you will. I'm obviously not an authority or expert on the topic. This is just so stupid. It's so corny, it's disingenuous and cringeworthy as a song as a whole. It's so unserious, laughably generally, but probably not in a fun sort of way like Drake may have intended, more in just a pathetic type of way. It's garbage, whatever way you spin it, I'm sorry. Number 3.
No, I just can't abide. Yeah, I've never the time to 69.
I really knew nothing about self-esteem before this year's critically beloved and humanly hated album, A Complicated Woman, and it probably should have stayed that way, honestly. But no, I decided for whatever reason to subject myself to what may be the worst pop album of the year, and among it is this track titled 69. Writing songs about sex and even getting into detailed specifics with it for a dirtier type of vibe isn't something new, nor is something terrible, but this song is particularly odd about it because it's actually about specifically disliking the titular 69 position. Who does that? Why? Like, what on earth could possibly be the point of writing this? The lyrics are structured around a repeating template of insert sex position here. Yeah, that's pretty okay. 69ing though? No, I hate that. I mean, like, okay, sure, but why did we ever need to know that? And why would you put it into a song? The way the song sounds is insane too. It's just as deranged and nonsensical as the lyrical focus. For the most part, it's a sensual club beat driven dance pop song. Pretty traditional in that way, but then pulls out this yes, no, yes, no, like church choir type of thing, an outro, I guess. And I mean, like, it's kind of a goofy dance pop song before that point, but that just really seals the deal. It's cringeworthy, it's ridiculous. The existence of this song is pretty unfathomable in general. I pray for everyone's sake this doesn't find its way by mistake onto a certain type of playlist, or you might get quite the jump scare. Number 2.
A holiday, you can't find no words to say.
I understand there was a lot to critique about Lil Wayne's new album, The Carter 6, and I understand y'all were pretty infatuated with Peanuts to an Elephant, but how did this go under the radar as much as it did? It's genuinely so insane that Lil Wayne managed to heavily sample, interpolate, and partially cover Weezer with what might be the worst ever vocals he's done, and this wasn't a huge meme. Not just any Weezer song either, fucking Island in the Sun. It's like the second tier meme song because of course Buddy Holly is a thing, but it almost makes it funnier that it's Island in the Sun instead of Buddy Holly. If it was Buddy Holly, it's like, okay, yeah, this is bait to be a meme now, but since it's Island in the Sun, it's like you can almost unironically take it seriously or at least think that he's doing so. The fact that it's just ever so slightly a deeper cut is so wild. Weezer and Lil Wayne have crossed paths before, and it made for one of the most ridiculous songs out there, honestly, but what if I told you this ups and passes it entirely? There's something about some of Lil Wayne's worst ever lyrics to date, through his nasally, moaned, heavy auto-tune singing over Island in the Sun that will never not live rent-free in my head. This one's a funny bad one for sure. It's a so bad it's good one for sure. Still horrible, but like, damn, I just love that it's a thing that exists to take a gawk at. Moving on to number 1 now, but first some honorable mentions. First, anything AI, whether it be this, especially this, I refuse to mention it by name. In my mind, this isn't real art and therefore isn't real music worthy of being put on any sort of list, a bad one or otherwise. I don't care if a generative AI model spits out the most objectively stunning and gorgeous piece of music ever conceived, it is objectively trash. that will be all. And the second honorable mention is anything horribly offensive and explicitly political that exists just for the sole sake of that. Whether it be something like this, or this. These are just disqualified to me because, again, they aren't really meant to be music in the way music is meant to be music. We've all been over this by now. With a handful of exceptions, conservatives are generally just shit at art. Therefore, music meant to be Trump supporter anthems, calls to violence against minorities, or memorials to a dumb fuck who literally asked for it tend to be total dog shit in musical competence. Beyond that, they're meant only as a message, one that I fucking hate, but regardless, it's there as propaganda and preaches to a choir of losers that don't care about good and meaningful art. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I don't want to bring any more attention to AI artists because even one less play to them is a win in my book. I don't even want to search them up to go find the clips. And I don't want to bring attention to far-right music that's just far-right for the sake of it, in the same way I don't want to hand out flyers to advertise a Trump rally. To be clear, I would kind of disqualify anything that only acts as spreading a message or strictly political on the left. I just haven't heard anything like that. But rant over now, let's get to that number one pick.
Oh, she's a pain in my ass, but that's how I like my women.
I think we've done it, everyone. By combining the power of the two greatest names in the industry, it's the Coworker music final boss in true form. This dynamic duo of Ronald falling in reverse Radke and country rap legend Hardy came together and really came through for this song. All My Women. It's possibly well among the most offensive and unlistenable songs ever created, as if that wouldn't somehow be obvious. On one end, predictably, it's the overblown, overproduced, tactless, tasteless, radio rock and generic rock generally aesthetics we've come to know from Falling in Reverse throughout recent years. But on the other end entirely, we got Hardy featuring here, so everything has what's essentially the Instagram filter equivalent of country music laid over top. We're talking a little bit of twangy guitar and of course a little bit of that country accent. And of course the whole concept of the song is just like, women. Am I right, fellas? Like, yeah, I'm crazy, but get a load of this broad. She sure turns me on, but wow, this lady is absolutely insane, right, fellas? Basically think both Bitch Came Back by Theory of a Dead Man and Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry, but maybe even up the ante a little bit more and make them commercialized and sterile to an obnoxious extent. You gotta bring them to 2025 and really meet the meta, you know? Those songs are almost 20 years old each, by the way, though, so we're really turning back the clocks on humanity's progress generally for this one. It's the same energy as the 50-something-year-old shittiest family member you have that refers to his wife as the old ball and chain. It's not even just misogynistic as hell and horribly objectifying, it's just generally pathetic. Grown-ass man talking like this and expect me to take it as anything but ridiculous. Tell me you get none without telling me you get none. Like I said, I avoided putting anything on this list or any other ones that are just existing for the sole reason of being offensive, but this one goes so far above and beyond. It's easily one of the most obnoxious and gross things on the list if we don't take the lyrics into account at all. It is clearly trying to be a real song and something that a lot of people will listen to with or without the purpose of it. I think the entire concept is so uniquely dumb that it earned its spot fair and square as well. New and old country crossovers are kind of a plague whenever they pop up, and this being the very worst of country rap and rock all wrapped into one makes this an abomination of a song that truly just needs to be appreciated for how bad it really is. I think that's about it though. I've yapped enough. Those are the worst songs I heard this year. Hope you liked the list. That's about it for it. Remember to like and follow for more music-related content. I'm tired, man.